Morning, YouTube. It's Ratmaster here. Back in the heat exposure. Got a lot to talk about today. Pretty excited. We're going to be able to get our cold plunge in today. I'm feeling a lot better, so stay tuned for that. Let's check our temp. Remember, guys, 100, 105. You want something therapeutic from this. Here we go. 102, baby. We're warm. Remember, guys, you're feeling sore, hurt, stress. Get in the warm, hot tub with Epsom salt. Quit playing. Today we're going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness. So forgiveness is something that I need to work on. I've been internalizing it a lot lately. So I've had to do some research on it because I've never been very good at forgiving people. I've pretty much held on to grudges my whole life. And now that I've gotten older, I don't want to hold on to those things anymore. So forgiveness is not about condoning people's actions. It's about releasing the burden of resentment for yourself, for your overall well-being. It's important. Just like everything else that we've talked about before, man, it's being in that self-reflective state when you're thinking about that stuff to yourself. Understand what that anger and that grudge and all that stuff that you hold on to, the damage is doing to yourself, and that other person may not even have any clue that that's happening to you. And you're just, if you're someone and that's someone you don't necessarily like, you're letting them cause harm to you unnecessarily. A lot of the other things that I've been pretty good at, such as like empathy, is I've been pretty good at putting myself in other people's shoes, but I never really think about it as it relates to forgiving somebody. I never truly place myself. I always think that people are choosing to just be awful for no reason, or just choosing to be awful for the sake of being awful, or hurtful for the sake of being hurtful too. Because don't get me wrong, there are people out there like that too. There are people out there that just want to cause harm and pain and suffering amongst others. That's why we identify them to the best of our ability in society, and we oust them. We don't really have to tolerate that. My example of forgiveness as of lately, I get a little bit personal with talking about it, but going back to that empathy portion and putting yourself in your shoes, I really couldn't do that until I had my own child. But I look at my parents and I forgive them for the mishandling, mistakes, neglect, and everything that I harbor and hold a bunch of resentment towards. Aside from that, in particular, forgiveness towards my parents, forgiving my father. I had a lot of resentment towards him, forgiving my father for all the physical and mental things that he's done to me. I'm not saying that he was a savage abuser or anything like that, but he's made shortcomings and shortfallings that have led to his demise, which has led to the demise of our relationship. So I've gone through that, and now that I've had a daughter, I've internalized it, and have really understood that realistically, our parents have done the best they can with what they've known. And I believe that. He may not know now, unless he watches my videos, so maybe this is that way that he figures out that I've forgiven him. But just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you need to tell them about it. Not necessary. The forgiveness is for you, so you can release that resentment and everything, all those, all that angst and anger and all those negative feelings towards that person, that's for you to let go of. There's no set time on it, too. There's no set time. It's based off of a decision. And along with that, forgiveness also doesn't mean forgetting either. You got to learn to recognize the patterns and see things that are coming from a repeat offender, especially to something that you love. And if you're willing to forgive them for something, you got to be willing to forgive them for everything, or you'll never be able to get rid of that. And if you have to get that person out of your life, then cut that person out of your life as well. Set up boundaries. And that's if you choose to, discuss with them or tell them that you're forgiving them for something, or the person that you're addressing. Because like I said, you don't always have to, but if you do, make sure you have an open line of communication with that person. Tell them that, they're wrong for what they've done and how they've wronged you, and tell them that you forgive them and move on. So this is like one of my topics of discussion. It doesn't mean that I don't struggle with this. This has probably been, out of everything that I struggle with, like, forgiveness is the hardest thing to do. And I feel like it's the hardest thing for anybody to do is to, it's literally letting things go. Like, that's difficult. It's really difficult to do these things. But the whole point of this recovery channel is building a better you. Building a better you, making a better you, and that's inside and out, physically and mentally. Because holding on to all that crap, like, is stress, which is, like, obviously the cortisol. It's bad for you. Everybody, you know what I mean? The more you dig into these things, the more you realize there's actually negative health. And it takes courage, too. Now that I think about it. It takes courage to forgive somebody, to be honest. Because that person, like, example, like, being my dad, like, with the whole thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, just because I'm older now doesn't mean I still don't have some sort of, like, I'm scared to talk to my dad about that stuff. So at this point, like, I haven't. I'm doing the forgive and go, if you will, so for my own well-being. I plan on discussing it with him, just finding the right time. If he sees this, that's that. Then Dad, I've forgiven you. But I guess that's the point of filming some stuff, I guess. Or doing any of this. If it matters, they'll see it. Along with saying it takes courage, like, it takes courage to stand up to somebody and tell them how you feel. Especially someone that has probably wronged you, so they're probably... A lot of the time, when some of these things are happening, there's like a weird power dynamic in the relationship where, it's an authoritative figure or someone that means something to you, or somebody that can really touch your emotional side, or something that really affects you. Because the kind of, the feeling of the grudge that I had in that fashion is nowhere near, like, something that somebody could have really wronged me at, like, a random Walmart. But if it's someone that doesn't mean anything to me, like, forgiving them doesn't, it doesn't even really cross my mind to forgive someone like that. The true difficulties come in the people that you do know, because you built a relationship, or if it's happening to somebody in that, like I said, in that field of in that weird dynamic of a relationship. It does take courage to tell that person, or not, but to tell that person that they've wronged you and that you've forgiven them and made amends with it so you can move on. That takes guts. And not a lot of people have guts anymore. They're willing to rather just be mad, hold a resentment, like I did for years and years and years. And it's not good. It's not helpful. It doesn't get you anywhere. It affects your relationships. It affects everything, dude. Everything. And you don't think it does because you put it in that pocket and you kind of forget about it. But you pull it out when you got something to be mad about. You pull that right out and be like, X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, and 3. This is why I'm mad. And you know what? Da 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 da. And it doesn't get you anywhere. And get you nowhere. It doesn't help you do nothing. So, like I said, the whole point of this channel is to motivate you guys to make yourself a better you. So, or make a change in your life. So I'm telling you, like, out of a bunch of these topics that I've talked about, or these things that I've talked about, like, forgiveness is huge, humongous. I just encourage you guys that if you guys are going through something and you're really holding on to resentment and you just having a hard time forgiving this person, just, I hope this video lands, man, and you really internalize it and you can help yourself. Because at the end of the day, all that does is just hurt you, cause pain, and it'll never work for you, just to work against you. Alright guys, that's it for my heat exposure. I'm going to be going over and stretching. Make sure you guys stretch for the day, get opened up before your cold plunge. I'm going to be leaving a card at the top so you guys can visit that and follow along with that. I know you guys don't seem to like the stretch in between, so I won't be doing that. I'm going to be doing my heat exposure, my little bit of discussion, and then I'm going to be doing my cold plunge. So, follow that. What's going on, guys? Radmaster. You know we're going to do the cold plunge. It's freezing out right now. We're at a whopping 30 degrees. Motivate yourselves. Get after it. Do it. There's freaking ice in here. Shoot for a minute. Oh!
Do relax. Breathe. 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 Do it. Come on. Who's hard? You're hard. Let's go. You can do this. I can do this. You can do it. Yeah. 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 Ooh. Ah. Oh. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Oh. 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 Yeah. Ah. 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 Whoa. All right, guys, I gotta go.
My body's shutting down. Alright guys, it's Ratmaster. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Ratmaster out.